Most people, when they start a new business, their natural knee-jerk reaction is to sell something for cheap because I'm just starting out, then I'll have a more expensive product, and I'll work my way up. This is why most businesses fail within the first year. What you should be doing is having a more expensive product first and then working your way down. I'm going to explain to you why it's easier to sell something for more expensive than it is to sell something cheaper. Before we dive into that, let's talk about first why a cheap product will break your business in the beginning. When you start out in business, you don't have any teammates, so it's really just your time and your 24 hours. Most people also don't start with a whole lot of money, a whole lot of capital that they can use to grow their business, and it costs a lot of money to acquire a customer, or it costs a lot of time. So you're either running ads and you're paying money to get people's attention, or you're directly reaching out to them, which takes your time. And since you don't have teammates, it's not very effective. You can only reach so many people at once. What that means is your capability of getting traffic and volume is low. If you have a low ticket product, in order for you to be profitable, you need high amounts of traffic. And if you don't have the money or time, how are you going to make that happen? People tell you about how much revenue they make in their business, but they don't generally tell you about what it costs to actually acquire a customer. So let's use this as an example. If you have a product, let's say you're selling a $100 course, but it costs you $100 in ad spend in order to make a sale. So if you spent $100 on ads and you made $100, you actually didn't make any money. So if you repeat that cycle and you need more volume, costs you another 100 to make 100, costs you another 100 to make 100, no matter what you do, as long as you keep scaling what's happening there, you're just scaling break even and no profits on a bigger level. And if you sell all these products, you don't have the teammates to be able to make sure that your clients are happy. If you have something expensive, let's say that you have a $5,000 coaching program, and you want to hit 10K a month, that's only 2 clients that you need. And guess what? If you only have 2 clients, you can focus more attention on those 2 people and make sure that they get a massive result, that they love your business and they refer other people. And they give you 2 more people and you get another $10,000, and it continues to cycle. If you give your clients the best results possible in the beginning, that is what's going to help your business spread like wildfire. But also at the same time, if you spent the same amount of money to acquire a customer, let's say it's $100, and you make $5,000, your profit margin is way bigger and you have way more room for error, and you have more ability to spend more money on ads than if you were to sell something for cheaper. So in the beginning, if we can admit that we don't have money and we don't have a whole lot of time, that means that we have low volume. The only way to make up for low volume is high prices. If you have low volume and low prices, you're not going to get anywhere. This is a secret a lot of people don't talk about. If you see established coaches, business owners having low ticket products, usually what they do that for is something called an SLO, self-liquidating offer. What that means is an offer that helps them break even so that they're breaking even on ad spends, and then they can create this list of buyers who have already bought a low ticket product. Those people are more willing to buy a higher ticket product from them than a complete stranger. So they're building this list of buyers and they're breaking even on their ad spend. All the profit is happening on their expensive products. So if all the heavy hitters are spending money just to break even, to upsell to a bigger product, how are you going to be profitable on that strategy? Here are some reasons why it's easier to sell an expensive product than a cheaper product. The first thing is perceived value of the product. Let's pretend I handed you 2 guitars right now. You've never heard of the brands, you've never heard the sound of them, you don't have any idea about either of these guitars. The only thing you know is what I told you, and it's this. This guitar right here is $99. This guitar right here is $10,000. Without ever hearing either of them, which one do you assume sounds better? The $10,000 one. Now, if I take the $99 one and I start playing it, before I even play the first note, you have already made a biased decision that this is the cheaper one. So now you're subconsciously going to be seeking for reasons why it is cheaper. Even if it's not true, you've already made that subconscious biased decision. So I start playing the guitar and you're like, it sounds a little tinny, it sounds a little weak, the mid is a little bit muddy. It may not even be true, but you're already looking for these things in your head. And so you're subconsciously making these decisions. And then I start playing the $10,000 guitar. And again, you've already made the biased decision on the other end that this sounds better. So then you start looking for those reasons. It does sound a lot more clear, and it may not be true. And at the end of me playing these guitars, I could say these guitars are actually the same exact guitars. But besides the fact that they're the same guitars, and I told you one was more expensive, you've already subconsciously made these decisions in your head. The reason why I say this is if a prospect looks at your product and it's more expensive than the other person, they're going to subconsciously look for reasons why this is so much more expensive. It has to be better. So right out the gate, first impression, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person seen as being the best, or do you want to be the cheap value option? And your pricing very much affects your branding. If I said Walmart, what is the first thing that you think of? Discounts, price slashes, low quality, return lines out the door. And if I said Gucci, what do you think of? Expensive, high status, celebrities wear it. Now, people buy Gucci not because the t-shirt is any better than another t-shirt at Walmart. They buy it for the status. If Gucci was as cheap as a Walmart shirt, do you think high status people would be wearing it and flexing it? No, they buy it purely because it's expensive and it elevates their status. So if you have a coaching program, do you want people to brag about, oh, I went into this program, it's so expensive, exclusive, only so many people can get into this? Or do you want to be seen as the budget option that everybody goes to when they can't afford anything else? That's how much your pricing affects your brand. It's one of the first judgment calls people make on your business before they know anything. So you might be thinking, well, this guy's just telling me to raise my prices. That's unethical. I'm ripping people off. Here is why it's actually better for your client if you charge them more money. Growth happens outside of our comfort zone. Most people already understand what they need to do, but they don't do it anyways. You know how to lose 20 pounds. You know how to get shredded. You know how to gain muscle, but are you doing it? It's merely as simple as doing push-ups, going to the gym, eating better, but do you do it? So most of the time, your clients already know what they need to do. They're just not in an uncomfortable position enough to actually take the right action and grow towards their goals. As long as you are in your comfort zone, that is where you stay stagnant. And if you're giving something to your clients and it's too comfortable for them to pay for, and it's too cheap, there is no friction. They are not going to do the hard things. It's going to be easier if they just stay in their comfort zone and say, I took a loss on this little bit of money. It doesn't really matter. Whereas if you have them pay more, they are going to pay more attention. They have more skin in the game. That means their back is up against the wall and they have to take those uncomfortable steps in order to get to their goals. Otherwise, they have too much on the line and they're losing too much. And I truly believe this. I'll give you an example of my life. I used to buy courses on how to make money online. $1,000 here, $1,000 there. I'm not saying $1,000 isn't a lot, but it's not enough for me to uproot all my daily bad habits, completely overhaul my life, drop what I'm doing and do exactly what that course says. It's much easier to just say, well, I'll just take a loss on that course. I'll just make that up on next paycheck. And then I stay stuck in my 9 to 5. The first time I hired a coach that cost me way more than I thought it was going to be, it was $10,000. And at the time, I didn't have that kind of money. So it was very expensive to me. But I knew that if I didn't take that leap, the cost of inaction was much greater, and that was being stuck at a job I didn't like till I was 65, too old to do anything I love, and retire and live scarcely off of my savings. That cost more than the $10,000 I would invest. So I took the plunge. I borrowed money from my family. I took out a loan. I took out money from my savings. I did whatever I could. And guess what? I did every single thing that coach told me to do. And that is the reason why I am in this position today. If I did not take that leap, I would still be in a 9 to 5. I would not be here making this video. So I am so grateful that coach charged me way more than I was comfortable with because I took the uncomfortable steps towards my goals and I have made it happen. So yes, it is much better for your client if you have them put more skin in the game because then they do the things they know they should be doing but don't want to do. And guess what? If you're the cheapest, people don't expect you to be the best. And if you're the best, people don't expect you to be the cheapest. So it has to be congruent. Otherwise, people don't believe you. Another thing is the buyer's mindset in a low, mid, and high tier market are completely different from each other. You cannot speak to all of them at once. If you speak to one, you repel the others. So do you want to attract a bunch of low quality people and deflect all the high quality people? Or do you want to attract the high quality people and deter the low quality? Beginners and people who aren't serious shop based on price. They ask, how much is it before they even know what they're getting? Think about Walmart. They don't care if they're getting an off brand as long as it's a better deal. They are looking for price and price only. So do you want to sell to people who think like that? Or do you want to sell to people who care about what the outcome is over the price? Low ticket is discount shoppers. They shop based on price. Mid ticket is settlers. Those are the people that say, I don't want the worst thing, but I also can't afford the best thing, so I'm going to settle for whatever is here. I'm going to settle for what's in the middle. But if you want to attract the most serious people, the people who will pay the most, the people who want to solve a problem, the people who are less of a headache, less returns, less problems, then you want to talk to the people who shop based on value. What that means is they care more about the outcome of what they get when they purchase something than the cost of it, as long as the value is much greater than the cost. Here's an example why low ticket mindset doesn't make any sense. If I told you right now, I will sell you a car, and you said, how much? And I said, $5,000. And you're like, no, that's too much money. And then I said, well, that's too bad. You just missed out on a Lamborghini. A high ticket mindset asks what they're getting before they give you an answer. A low ticket mindset always asks about the price, even though they don't know what they're getting. They just look at $5,000. I can't afford that. Even if somebody didn't have money, but they had a higher mindset, they would look at that and say, what kind of car is it? It's a Lamborghini? Cool, I don't have $5,000 right now, but I'm gonna go do everything I possibly can to get that $5,000 because I know I can sell that car for $200K. So do you see the difference here? Selling something more expensive is automatically gonna deter all the low quality people because you just eliminate them as a whole. You don't have to deal with that, there's no headache there. But in return, you attract the highest quality people, the people who care about the value, the people who are willing to listen, the people who make better decisions, and the people who are easier to sell. This is why I truly, truly believe that selling something expensive is much more beneficial, especially in the beginning, than starting cheap and going high. You earn money faster, you grow your business faster, you work with better clients, and you're perceived as more of a luxury brand versus Walmart. If you want to learn how to execute all of this pricing and grow a high ticket coaching business, I'm gonna leave a link down below so that you can book a call with me. I'd love to hear more about your business and what you teach and see if I can help you sell these types of expensive products. Regardless, I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe to the channel and share this with a friend that you think would benefit from this.